Let's go straight now to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They will train once today on Tuesday as they intensify preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic. Now, the session, according to the team's media officer, Promise Efoge, will commence at 4 p.m. It will hold at the practice pitch of the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, and it will be behind closed door with, of course, no access to the media and members of the public. The Super Eagles started preparations on Monday with Sunday, with two training sessions on the day. The three-time African champions also followed the same routine on Monday. And we just got an update right now that we have more players in camp. Yes, I told you about the fact that the strike has been suspended for 1 week, and we hear that the likes of Semi Ajayi, Calvin Bassey, Bright Osai Samuel, Frank Onyeka, Paul Onuachu have all arrived Uyo. That's how fast it was. Of course, it is getting to normalcy in Nigeria. And Akila, you've been following up with the Super Eagles since Sunday up until now. What would you say that that is happening in the camp that brings confidence that the Super Eagles can fly past South Africa?
I think one thing that has given me confidence in this team for once is early arrival, because when the camp was set to open on Saturday, unlike other moments where we used to have players delay for too long, this time around, on Saturday, we had a good number of players arriving. 13 of them were in camp. And on Sunday morning, when they trained, 13 of them trained, 2 more joined them in the evening training session. We had 15 players. So from that moment up till now, it's only 8 players who have not been able to make their way down here. Of course, we know Ademola Lookman played his final game of the season for Atalanta on Sunday against Fiorentina, which they lost by 3-2. He was on target in that game. He wouldn't have been able to come before the camping started. He's an integral part of that Atalanta team. And after a fantastic performance, he wants to end the season on a high. Other players at least have been around on Monday, because the first training session was on Sunday. So missing training sessions on Sunday, maybe not too much. Yes, they had 2 training sessions, but it was expected that all of these players would arrive yesterday, which was Monday. They couldn't make it because of the strike action that the unions in Nigeria are embarking on. But I think thankfully now we have some of them joining up with the team. But away from all of these issues surrounding arrival and who is in camp or who is not in camp, from what I've seen in the training sessions, I've seen a set of players that are united. I've seen a set of players who are determined. I've seen a set of players the players themselves, you can see that they are happy. They are happy playing around each other. That romance is there. They are knocking the ball around really well. Even for the new players in the team, they're not finding it hard to integrate with the rest. Sadiq Ismail, Ibrahim Olaoyin as well. I've seen these 2 in training, and I tell you that they're already keying into what the coach is doing. They had an intense training session yesterday in the morning, and they couldn't even train in the evening because of the intensity of it. It was a recovery session with the team's physio. So I think these players are ready to go. Some of them even played in the charity game for Trust Ekong. They came around, to support their big brother, captain of the team at the last AFCON, most valuable player as well. And you can see that these players are really united. They are fighting for everything. They're having a good time. So I feel that they will be able to put in a good shift. Stanley Nwabali was one who was held strongly by the fans during the Trust Ekong Foundation charity game. And when he spoke, I think yesterday as well, he spoke about the fact that he's looking forward to playing in front of the fans. He's not played for the Super Eagles at home, and having the fans around is a big motivation for him to do well for Nigeria. So I feel that the players are well positioned. The South African team, some of them played in the Nedbank Cup last weekend. So training for them didn't start when the Super Eagles started. They've been around in Uyo. They're having a feel of the pitch. And I'm sure that by tomorrow, hopefully, they might be training at the main bowl of the stadium. So they will be in tune with the conditions here in Uyo. Even the hotel they are in, 5-star hotel. So I think everything is looking pretty good for the Super Eagles. And Finidi George has the chance now to impress and win over the hearts of the fans. When the announcement came on board, many didn't feel at home with disappointment. So he has a good set of players to prosecute the game. And it's time for Nigeria to make a mark, get their first win in the FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifier.
All right, Akila, before I let you go, you've spoken about what you've seen in camp, how the team is really bonding and looking forward to that game. I'm being concerned about the business angle of it, in the sense that South Africans, if you follow their first conference in the last few days, they're not looking forward to this game as a time to just come and, just kick the ball and see what happens. Ugo Bruce was in Uyo when Nigeria defeated Cameroon 4-0 when he was coach of Cameroon. Now he's the coach of South Africa. He disturbed and ensured that Nigeria, went all the way to the penalty shootout at the Nations Cup, and he has majority of his players who knows Stanley Nwabali very well, of course, in the South Africa Premier League. And coming up against him again in Uyo with over 90% of players playing in the South African League. Can we scale through this hurdle? Yes, it's South Africa, but the last time they jumped in South Africa in Uyo, they lost 2-0.
Yeah, Tokelo Ranti and Pesitao with the goals then back in 2017. I think it's still fresh in the minds of these Super Eagles players. And for some of them who were part of that team, I think Chidozie Awase was already a Super Eagles player at the time. A few others, Wilfred Ndidi as well, will have that experience to tell these other players. And it's big motivation for them because it's a team that you are lost against right in front of your fans. You wouldn't want that to happen yet again. But I think the South African team have improved massively over the past 3 years. In fact, what you have now is even a better version of what you had in 2017 when they defeated Nigeria. So I think we'll be deceiving ourselves if we feel that this game will be a walk in the park. The South Africans have grown in leaps and bounds. Their league is doing well, producing over 90% of the players in that team. Mamelodi Sundowns only had about 8 players starting for them against Nigeria at the last AFCON. And many of them are still part of this team. Temba Zwane is part of the team. The one who scored against Nigeria from the sports in the last Africa Cup of Nations, the semi-final game, Teboho Mokoena is also part of the team. He played in the final of the Nedbank Cup just days ago. Talk about other players who are integral part of this team. They will still be there. Nkosinati Sibisi of Orlando Pirates. Relebohile Mohokeng, who scored the winner in the Nedbank Cup, also gets his maiden call-up. So they have a blend of experience and youth. Pesitao also part of the team, and other players from Sundowns and the rest. Spepelo Sitole as well, the midfielder who was outstanding for them at the last AFCON. So I think they have a good crop of players. They have players who have played together, were together at the last AFCON, had some excellent friendly encounters. The 3-3 draw against Algeria. So they've been around for quite a while. And I tell you, it's going to be tough. Yes, many of them know Stanley Nwabali, but you saw what he was able to put up against them. And you might also fault the kind of football we played. It was a defensive-minded formation at the last AFCON, and that was why the South Africans came on us. And with Finidi George now, he was a winger in his heydays, one who played and was forward-minded. So I'm hoping that we're able to change the story now, play more of an attacking football. And with the firepower that we have, with the midfielders that we have stability back now in Wilfred Ndidi. We have Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Boniface, a Bundesliga winner, PSV Pokal winner, Ademola Lookman on fire. So we should be able to unleash everything at the South Africans and get the job done.
All right, well said. I mean, a wonderful word from you, Akila Matawala. Let's see what happens on Friday night under the floodlights of the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you in subsequent editions of the show. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you as well.